Hi, everybody. Welcome to English Digest. I'm Tom.
I'm Stephanie.
And today is our unit on the environment, and we're talking about building materials. People are still building structures left and right. We've got luxury apartment buildings going up and business buildings. But now we're talking about maybe small homes made not from wood or bricks, but actually from bamboo. What a concept.
Yeah, very different, actually. My first thought was, wait, bamboo? Isn't it pretty easy to push over? They seem very light, those bamboo poles. But I've seen bamboo used a lot in construction here in Taiwan. So I know it's really good. It's a good material for construction workers. But I can't imagine building a home all out of bamboo.
Yeah, I remember when we were children, of course, if you went down to the local carpet store, you would ask them if they had any bamboo because the carpet rolls came on bamboo.
Really?
Which was kind of strange.
Oh.
And then they'd give you the bamboo if they had it, and we'd take it home and use it to practice the pole vault, or we would use it as a crossbar when trying to practice the high jump or something like that.
Really?
So that was kind of useful in that regard. But today we're actually talking about how bamboo can be useful when building houses and things like that. And yes, it does seem kind of unusual, but bamboo does have a lot of advantages that we should consider. So let's get to it. Let's find out what good bamboo can do for us in the future of green construction. Let's read our article now from top to bottom. Bamboo. You have likely seen small homes made from it in glossy photos of romantic tropical vacation destinations. But bamboo is not limited to beach huts. In the 2021 Marvel superhero movie Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, a dramatic fight scene takes place on the bamboo construction scaffolding around the high floors of a Macau skyscraper. The strength and elegance of this fast-growing grass have made it a convenient building material that's been used around Southeast Asia for generations. The Western world has recently taken note, and companies are now exploring how to best expand its use around the world. There are many features of bamboo that make it an ideal material for building. For one thing, it's inexpensive and easy to acquire. For another, it regrows without needing to be replanted, which reduces the maintenance required of bamboo farmers. Furthermore, harvesting bamboo doesn't put a strain on the environment, and even once it's been harvested, its root systems continue holding the soil in place. This prevents erosion and landslides. Bamboo has impressive mechanical properties as well. It is strong and flexible, which makes it a great building material for earthquake-prone locations. Some species compare favorably with steel and concrete. However, even this marvelous material has its limitations. Although there are more than 1,500 species of bamboo, only a few have suitable weight-to-strength ratios for construction. What's more, untreated bamboo is vulnerable to insects and moisture. These lead to decay, which weakens the structure of a bamboo-based building. Nevertheless, these problems can be dealt with, and bamboo's benefits still far outweigh its downsides.
Okay, guys, let's get started. We're talking about bamboo. Which is really fun. It's been kind of interesting living in Taiwan the past couple of years because I've learned more about different types of materials, like bamboo being one. I was very unfamiliar with bamboo. I grew up in a state that is called Arizona, and it's in the desert. And most of the buildings there are built of bricks or concrete because you're trying to seal in the indoor part of the house so that the heat can't get in. We rarely think, oh, it's cold in here. It's always because it's too hot. So we want to have a really strong barrier against the heat of the outside temperature. So we've got bamboo. Let's see how well it does with some of these other construction materials. So the title has one of our vocabulary words, which is construction. Construction here is being used as a noun, and it just means you're building something, usually something quite big, a house, a bridge, an apartment building, something like that, construction. You can work in construction. You can be a construction worker. Did you ever do that growing up, Tom? Did you ever have a job as a construction worker?
No, but I wish I had. It can make you pretty, burly and macho and stuff like that.
Also, the pay's not bad.
Indeed, although you can risk getting injured working construction. So yes, that's the process of building something. I suppose construction could be a noun, like that's a nice construction over there, but we don't often use it that way.
Well, our title is using it as a noun.
Right. So here in this particular usage, construction is talking about the process of building something. So it's the future of green construction, not because bamboo is green, but because it's friendly to the earth and things like that. It's green. Okay, so here, bamboo, you have likely seen small homes made from it in glossy photos of romantic tropical vacation destinations. So it's quite popular, at least years before the pandemic. It was quite popular for people to travel to tropical countries like the Philippines or Costa Rica, and you could stay in these beach bungalows, which are structures built on a beach, but they're often made out of bamboo. So, of course, to attract people to these tropical locations, they will put these glossy photos of romantic tropical vacations, destinations rather, in some pamphlets or something like that, or on travel posters to attract you to those destinations. Oh, wow, I'd like to go to that beach and stay in a bamboo bungalow like that.
Yeah, now construction is a noun if you want to use it as a verb. As Tom was mentioning, we use it as a verb quite a bit. You're going to use the word construct. So they're constructing a bridge in my town, or construction of the new bridge will begin in the spring. That's the noun form. So yeah, you probably have seen some of these glossy photos. Glossy means very shiny, but it also means kind of beautiful, enticing, something that you really want to look at and probably wish you could go do or buy if you see these glossy photos in pamphlets, travel brochures, or really kind of vacation magazines or even fashion magazines. So, yeah, you've likely seen some of these romantic pictures in magazines and brochures, but bamboo's not limited to beach huts. Although those sound fun to me. We've got this 2021 Marvel superhero movie. And I must admit, Tom, I don't know this one. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Have you heard of this one?
I've heard of it, but I avoided the movie theater during the pandemic, so I didn't see this movie. But in that movie, we have a dramatic fight scene, and it takes place, or it occurs, or happens, on the bamboo construction scaffolding around the high floors of a Macau skyscraper. Macau is the Portuguese name of Auman, which used to be a colony there. And, of course, like Hong Kong, it has lots of skyscrapers there going up on reclaimed land. And, of course, they're having this fight on construction scaffolding. In Western countries, you'll see the scaffolding around buildings that are going up made out of metal and stuff, but it's quite common to see scaffolding in Taiwan or in Hong Kong made from bamboo because, hey, it's pretty strong and it's very useful and cheap and it's light. It can go up quickly. So, yes, that's scaffolding, that kind of framework around a building that's being constructed so workers can work on the building.
Yeah, I remember being surprised when I saw some scaffolding for the first time here in Taiwan. I thought, oh my gosh, is that bamboo strong enough? I didn't know anything about bamboo then. So the strength and elegance of this fast-growing grass. Remember, I think of bamboo as a tree, but it's actually a grass, believe it or not. That's how it's classified by scientists. So it's very strong. It has strength. It's also elegant, which means it's kind of graceful looking, kind of beautiful. I think it's elegant too. But it's a fast-growing grass. It grows very quickly, which is great. And it's made because of these qualities, it's made it a convenient building material that's been used around Southeast Asia for generations. Now, the Western world has recently taken note, and companies are now exploring how to best expand its use around the world. When you use this phrase to take note, it just means they're paying attention. They're seeing something that they want to remember. So they're kind of taking a mental picture, taking note. Maybe they're writing it down. Maybe they're just remembering it. But the Western world has finally discovered that bamboo is actually quite useful.
Okay, so here in the next paragraph it says there are many features of bamboo that make it an ideal material for building. So bamboo has many unique qualities, and those qualities or those features make it really ideal for building things. For one thing, if you're going to make a list of things, you can say for one thing, for another thing, and finally, etc., etc. So the first item here is for one thing. It's inexpensive, which means it's cheap, and it's easy to acquire. To acquire means to get something. If you're a banker, for example, you might acquire the mortgage to a property so you can kick the tenants off the property.
Ooh, here are some example sentences. You could say, I'm planning to acquire a new home in the country. You could simply substitute acquire for buy. I'm planning to buy a new home in the country. Acquire is a little bit more formal. But if you get tired of always saying buy, you can use acquire. He acquired a small fortune after the death of his parents. Sometimes when people that are close to you, family members or maybe a good friend, when they pass away, sometimes they will leave their belongings to you to inherit. So you could use acquire there. He acquired a small fortune when his folks died. So it's easy to get your hands on. It's not very expensive. It's inexpensive. And here's another reason. It regrows without needing to be replanted, which reduces the maintenance required of bamboo farmers. That's pretty amazing. It regrows without needing to be replanted. So if you cut down some of those bamboo stalks, you don't even have to replant that grass. It just keeps growing from that one plant. So it reduces the maintenance. When you have maintenance on something, it means you're trying to maintain the condition of something so it doesn't become worse or broken down or in a state that you can no longer use it. For example, our cars. You'll often take your car or your scooter in for maintenance, which means the mechanic will look at it, tune it up, replace things that look old or look like they need to be replaced. That's the act of maintaining something or keeping property or your equipment in good condition, and that's maintenance. Of course, the noun form is to maintain.
Right, so remember we said for one thing, it's inexpensive. For another, it regrows without needing to be replanted. And furthermore, harvesting bamboo doesn't put a strain on the environment. And even once it's been harvested, its root systems continue holding the soil in place. This prevents erosion and landslides. So that's another advantage. It doesn't put a strain on the environment. It doesn't put stress on the environment. It's not bad for the environment. And then, of course, it prevents erosion, which means the soil kind of wears away, which is bad. And also it prevents landslides, which is bad. Land comes down the sides of mountains and covers people's homes, people die, and stuff like that, and you don't like those sorts of things happening.
Yeah, this is a great advantage right here of bamboo. It's perfect for Southeast Asia, where we have a lot of rain, and we have a lot of hills and landslides, so this is all good. We're going to continue talking about the good points or the benefits of bamboo, but first, guys, we're going to listen to our Chinese teacher.
大家好，我是安娜。我们今明2天要带大家介绍一个环保的绿建筑的这个 material 一种材料，就是竹造屋，就是竹子嘛。竹子啊，其实如果你在2021年的漫威的那个电影《上汽与十环传奇》当中，在这个电影里你大概就有看到这样子的竹屋子哦。这种生长快速的草类啊，其实很强韧，但是又很优雅，这种特性就让它成为在东南亚地方，其实我们好几个世代都常常会用竹子来建一些屋子。好，我们来看第一段第4句这个地方。第一段第4句啊，我们要先特别注意一下，有一个限定用法的关系子句，先行词在比较中间的地方 ，a convenient building material， 一种很方便的建筑材料。那么关系子句从后面的 that 一直到句尾的地方，我们可以左右括号。好，那么接下来呢，我们就要回过头来看这个句子，其实原本的动词用的是 make。 只是我们看到的是现在完成式，因为我们好几世代都觉得它是很好用的材料，所以它这些特性就使它成为很方便取得又大家喜欢用的建筑材料。这里的 make 它是一个不完全及物动词的用法，中文也是使什么如何如何，它的用法是 make 加受词再加上补语，所以后面的 it 指的是受词，也就是竹子这个材料。而后面我们刚刚提到的先行词 a convenient building material 就是补语补充说明这个 it 竹子它的身份。好，那么当然在西方世界是比较最近呢才注意到这一点，很多企业也在探索到底要怎么样有效的可以来拓展竹子在全世界使用的范围。好，那当然竹子有很多的特性，就让它成为很理想的建筑材料啦，因为有几个原因啦。那么在第二段的第一句同样也有一个限定用法的关系子句，先行词是 many features of bamboo， 竹子有很多的特性，后面的限定用法关系子句从 that 一直到句尾的地方。不过这个括号的句子啊，中间动词的 make 跟我们刚刚讲第一段第四句的 make 用法是一样的哦，使它成为什么什么 make it， 后面的 it 呢一样是竹子，然后再加上补语补充说明它的身份，An ideal material 是一个理想的材料 for building。 那有什么样的原因呢？当我们看到转成词语用的是 for one thing， 指的是其中一个原因，看到这个片语你就可以找接下来一定会出现 for another。 没错，我们在第二段第三句看到 for another另外一个原因。好，到底有什么原因？第一，竹子不贵而且很容易取得啊。第二个原因是因为也没有需要这个从头栽种，它会一直不断的长出来，也就是说呢，减少竹农对于竹子生长所需要的一些养护。好，我们在第二个原因，也就是第二段第三句的地方看到 it 这边有一个补充说明的关系子句，逗点之后的 which 一直到句尾可以左右括号。可以比较特别的是，这里的 which 不是指先行词的 be replanted。 第一，先行词不可能是被动式，也不可能是动词，先行词一定是名词。但是我们从文意当中去判断，其实 which 指的是逗点前面整句话，也就是说呢，竹子并不需要竹农对于竹子生长环境一直需要养护这件事情， which 就减少了对环境的一些不良影响。好，那么接下来呢，当然谈到这个就是说呢，竹子采收之后它的根啊还会一直在这个土壤这边呢帮忙固定原位，所以是非常环保的。
We're going to take a quick break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back, guys. We're in our environment unit. We're talking about bamboo, the future of green construction. Before we talk too much about construction itself using bamboo, we're kind of letting you know about the good qualities of bamboo itself. One of the things I've learned is it's a fast-growing grass. I always considered it to be a tree because, you know, they look like trees. They have those stalks. But it's actually classified as a grass. We know that it can be very strong, it's elegant, it's inexpensive, it's pretty easy to get your hands on or to acquire. And you don't need to regrow or to replant this bamboo if you harvest it all. And it has great roots. So what that helps do is it keeps soil in place so that soil or dirt doesn't move too much. Now this prevents erosion. Erosion is when something slowly over time disintegrates or disappears. We talk about, you could use it literally like a mountainside eroding, you know, where the soil comes off of it. But you could also talk about a friendship eroding. There's been a lot of erosion in friendships since a lot of people haven't been able to get together lately. So it also prevents landslides, which we've seen landslides in Taiwan when we get those heavy rains and typhoons that come, and then that mountain will just slide down. That's a landslide, and it can really cause a lot of damage to homes, and of course, it can take lives with it.
Right, so of course, when you've got lots of mud coming down a mountain, that's a landslide. If you've got lots of rocks coming down a mountain, that's a rock slide. And then if you've got lots of snow coming down the side of a mountain, that is an avalanche. So watch out if you're in Alaska or someplace like that. Now, moving on to the next paragraph here, it says bamboo has impressive mechanical properties as well. Mechanical means having to do with machines. And so, of course, in this particular case, they were talking about using it as a building material. And so because it has those mechanical properties, that means it can withstand a lot of pressure, and therefore it can make a great building material. So it says here it is strong and flexible. If something's flexible, it can bend without breaking. You could also talk about someone's schedule as being flexible. Could I, meet you on Thursday afternoon at 3 o'clock? Well, I have a meeting then, but I could move it to some other time. My schedule is flexible. It can be changed.
That's nice to have. So it's a material that's very strong yet flexible. That's hard to find those two qualities together. And it makes a great building material for earthquake-prone locations. Prone just means likely to have, to do, or to suffer from. You could be prone to headaches, meaning you get headaches a lot. Now, we'll often take it like this and add that prone behind another noun. So here we just mean a place that has a lot of earthquakes or is likely to have a lot of earthquakes. And we know that we're in a location that is very earthquake prone. Why is it such a great material for earthquake prone locations?
Well, some species compare favorably with steel and concrete. Okay, so I guess that means bamboo is good to use in construction in earthquake zones because they're like steel and they're like concrete. However, even this marvelous material has its limitations. So, of course, you can use bamboo in earthquake-prone locations because it's flexible and it's strong. So if an earthquake comes, it may not be destroyed like other buildings made out of steel or concrete, but still, it does have its disadvantages. It does have its limitations. Limitations just means how far it can go until it starts having problems. Although there are more than 1,500 species of bamboo, only a few have suitable weight-to-strength ratios for construction. So basically, you can't use all types of bamboo for building. Only a few types can be used for building, but I suppose the solution to that is to grow more of that type and less of the other types.
It's a good idea. We kind of skipped over concrete. Concrete is a really hard, strong material. It's used for building, and you make it by mixing things together. You have to mix cement, sand, and broken rocks with water. Once it dries, it's very, very hard. And the measure word we use with concrete is often slabs. Slabs of concrete. S-L-A-B-S, slabs. You could also use slabs with bacon, slabs of bacon. We use it for that too. So big, thick pieces are slabs. So a slab of butter, slab of concrete. Now, you need to make sure, as Tom said, you need the right species of bamboo if you really want to use it to build with. And you're looking at weight to strength ratios. A ratio, it's kind of a mathematical term. It just means the relationship that exists between the size, number, or amount of two things, and it's represented by two numbers typically. For example, I could say, the college has a 12-to-1 ratio between students and teachers, which means for every 12 students, they have one teacher. So that's a way to use ratios. So what else is great about bamboo for construction?
Well,
actually, we've moved on to the bad things, haven't we?
Yeah, so I guess you could ask what else is bad about bamboo, or at least what are some more of its limitations. So again, only few species are suitable because they have good weight-to-strength ratios. Other types do not. And what's more, or in addition also, untreated bamboo is vulnerable to insects and moisture. So I suppose you need to treat it before you can use it. If you don't, insects can get in there and eat it, like termites and stuff like that. And of course, we've got humidity and moisture here in Taiwan, which can rot the bamboo.
Ooh.
And these lead to decay, which weakens the structure of a bamboo-based building. So decay is when things break down, especially wood. Wood can decay if it's, again, subject to moisture and termites and things like that. It will just rot.
It sure will. Something else that will rot from decay is our teeth. We often will talk about tooth decay and preventing tooth decay by brushing your teeth and seeing the dentist regularly. So these things lead to decay, and when we treat bamboo, we're not giving it, a free meal or buying it a nice treat to eat. When you treat a material like this, it just means to put some sort of chemical process, use some sort of process, usually it's chemical, that kind of seals in everything so that those insects and moisture can't get in. Nevertheless, even though there are these limitations or problems, you can deal with them, and bamboo's benefits, its good points, still far outweigh its downsides. So if something far outweighs something else, it just means, even though it has these things, it's still much, much better, generally speaking. So overall, we could say bamboo has a lot of good benefits to consider.
Yep, it's got some disadvantages, but for the most part, it's useful. And we'll talk some more about bamboo in our next program. Right now, we're going to take a breather and listen to our Chinese teacher.
那么很特别的是竹子其实还有令人印象很深刻的一种力学性质哦，也就是很坚固又有弹性，所以像我们这种地震带的地方，其实这个建筑是非常好的。不过我们在第3段的第1句也看到 which 这个关系子句，同样的我们先把逗点 which 一直到句尾先左右括号起来，然后我们来看看 which 前面出现的是形容词 flexible。言下之意，先行词其实不是 flexible 这个字，我们刚刚强调先行词一定是名词，我们再根据文意来判断，其实 which 指的是冒号之后的 it is strong and flexible 这一件事情，这样子的力学特性使得它其实是地震带绝佳的建筑材料。那么当然这个材料也会有一些局限性比如说很多的竹子其实这个品种很多，但是只有比较少数的品种是适合当成建材的。还有一点就是如果竹子没有经过处理的话呢，有可能会有一些昆虫水分的影响，就会使得竹子腐蚀，那之后呢可能整个建筑物呢就会垮掉。我们在第3段最后面的第6句这个地方，第6句逗点之后又有一个 which 非限定用法补充的关系子句，我们先把它左右括号到句尾。前面这个 decay 其实本来是动名词的所谓的腐坏、腐蚀或蛀牙的意思。那么我们再分析一下前面 these 这些特性原因 lead to something 导致了。好，再根据文意判断，没有错，名词在这里的 decay 就是 which 的先行词。好，所以我们明天呢还会再针对竹造屋做更多详尽的解释，记得收听哦。我是安娜，明天见。
That's it, guys. Thanks for joining us. We are not finished talking about bamboo. We're going to focus more on the future of green construction in our next program. We hope you'll join us then. For English Digest, I'm Stephanie.
And I'm Tom. Goodbye.
Bye.